Hey, welcome everybody to the broadcast tonight. My name's Trevor, and I'm going to be hosting tonight's eBay training. As I was explaining to you who are here live before I just hit the record button on this, we are talking about very popular products going into the holiday season for 2016. Now, the first thing I want to address is why we ought to look at the stuff that's trending and what are some of the disadvantages of doing it. First of all, I generally think the non-sexy products on eBay are going to be your best bet. And what do I mean by that? I mean, sometimes it's better not to go after the really trendy, popular stuff. And for what reason? It's because trendy, popular stuff is also disgustingly competitive. That's what everybody wants to sell. I mean, if I were to go out there and survey most of my clients on week one, the vast majority are going to tell me they want to sell computers, laptops, cell phones, and any other extremely popular product. And that makes sense, right? Because you naturally would think there's a lot of money to be made there, and there is. But there's a lot of other people trying to do the same thing. So by and large, our recommendation is don't go after the trendy stuff because of all the competition. But this time of year, if you can actually find a decent supplier for some of this extremely trendy stuff that is going to be consistent in their inventory, then you can make money. But it's difficult doing drop shipping, and that's the one word of caution I want to give you. Because if you're going to drop ship trendy 2016 holiday sale type stuff, you're going to run out of stock like crazy. And you can't afford that. Not on eBay. You run out of stock like crazy on stuff, you jeopardize your account and the status of your eBay account. So it is possible, but I will tell you, those of my clients and myself, for that matter, who have ever made really good money on trendy stuff, buy them up front. Actually carry the inventory on this stuff, and I'm going to explain why more as we go through this. But let's first talk about this article here. This is from Time magazine. This was published like 4 hours ago. So this is pretty cutting edge, on time stuff, timely stuff that we're looking at. This is what they call the 45 best tech gifts for every budget. And I've reviewed this, and I've reviewed it against other top holiday lists, and I would say this is a very good list because some of this stuff is crazy popular right now. Now, if you want to see this, I mean, you could probably Google this article by typing in time.com and then searching the 45 best tech gifts for every budget. That would pull the article up for you. This is the URL up here, although it's a kind of a long, ugly URL, so I would recommend Googling it this way. I will also put it in the comment section once I post the video online. There's also two other lists we're going to look at briefly. This list is from bestproducts.com. Let me scroll up to the top of this. And this was published pretty recently. Oh, this was published back in October, so about a month ago. And their list is very accurate as well in terms of the popularity of items. And then this list right here was published by, whoops, let me back up to the top of this list really quickly. This is from brostrict.com. This was published in September of this year, so 2 months ago. This is 2016's most popular new toys for kids this Christmas. So if you're interested specifically in the toy space, which is a good space to be in during the holidays because a lot of kids' toys are bought during this time of year, this is a good one to look at. Here's my one caveat. Don't think if you're going to take advantage of the holidays that it's got to be just kids' toys. That's crazy. Everybody thinks kids' toys during the holidays. The truth is that the demand for virtually every product out there increases a certain percentage. Now, kids' toys may increase a greater percentage than maybe office chairs or, home decor items or athletic gear, but it all increases pretty substantially. So it's almost like, hey, if you want to take advantage of the holidays, anything goes. But today we're going to look at the trendy stuff. All right. So let's go back to the Time article for just a second. Let me give you an example of one of these products that's already going crazy on eBay. If we scroll down this list, they've got some funny stuff here. So this is like a little controller accessory for $14.99. This is called the Mate and Slim. It says what it's for. It's for the scatterbrained friend or family member who's always misplacing something. So it's something you attach to something like your keys or whatever, and you can find that stuff easier. There's Uber products, selfie sticks, right? Those are still extremely popular. If you can get a good supplier for a selfie stick product that's decent, you'll definitely make some money during the holidays. This one's very popular here. The one that I wanted to share with you guys that I was looking at earlier is this one right here. How many of you guys remember the classic Nintendo system from years and years and years ago? Okay, this would have been back in you remember? It would have been back in what is it, like 89, 1990, something like that? It might even be a little bit earlier. I can't remember the year on it. It was old, right? Like this was the stuff that I grew up on and loved. Of course, I'm not that old. I'm turning 32 this year, but still, right? This is an old system, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. So anyway, Nintendo announced at some point, I can't remember when it was. Maybe it was like July, or I don't remember exactly. They announced that they were bringing back the old system, retro style, right? And the price point was around $60. So you'll see this right here, $60. It says older millennials and Gen Xers who want to relive their glory days or share their childhood favorites with their kids. And so Nintendo's gone out and made this system. This thing's going crazy right now. You can't find this thing out there, even if you wanted to. Now, you might get lucky, some of you guys locally, and find this thing. But here's what's cool. You come over here to eBay and you look up what this is going for. Remember, it retailed for around $60 or so. And Nintendo's having distribution problems because they're selling so quickly. If I look up, let's see, what's it called again? It's called the Nintendo NES Classic Edition. Let's type that into eBay here. Classic Edition. Okay, you'll quickly see if you look at the live listings here. Let me zoom in. You're going to quickly see that this stuff is selling like crazy. This particular one has 4 minutes left on the auction. It's at $172.50 right now, with $15 of shipping. Okay, so this thing's almost selling for $200. 4 minutes to go. This one is at $180, 6 minutes to go. This is at $180.50, 22 minutes to go. This is selling right now. Buy it now for $190. This one right here is selling for $202.50 with 19 minutes to go. $168 with 20 minutes to go. Remember, I showed you just a second ago, had you just bought this right off the shelf, you would have paid about $60 for it. It's selling right now for 3 to 4 times that much. And what you can do on eBay to really get an idea, this is the current stuff that's selling. But if I come over here to the left-hand side of the screen, right down here, okay? Look on the left-hand side of the screen and see this section right here. This is the show only section. And I'm going to select show only the sold listings, okay? I'm going to select that box there. And that's going to show me what these have been selling for recently. And so I can actually see the completed listings on them. This one sold for $200. This was for $194, $192, $202, $190, $200. This sold for $333, but that was for 2 of them. This sold for $200, close to $200, $210, so on and so forth. So this is reasonably worth like $200 right now. Now, if you found a supplier online that was carrying this, let me ask you a question. Would it be safe to retail drop ship it and put this up for sale? You could probably sell it right now, buy it now for around $200, right? Smart idea or not smart idea? Not smart idea, right? If you did that, chances are when you went back to buy it from your supplier, it would be gone because this has gone virtually everywhere. So if all of a sudden they get some in fact, Amazon the other day made an announcement and they said they were going to get a bunch in for a few minutes, and they did, and it took like 4 or 5 minutes and they were gone. They were sold out. I don't know how many sold, but they were gone. And that was it. So you literally can't get your hands on this, but if you're smart about it, and this is what a lot of people do, okay? So a lot of people will study these lists that we're talking about. This Times list that came out recently here. This list right here that came out in October. The list that I was showing you a second ago that came out in September. People will study these lists going into the holidays, and guess what they'll do? They see the things that are at the top of the list. They go to Walmart, they go to Amazon, they go to Target, they go to Toys R Us, they go to any of the big stores, and they gobble all those products up. I have several clients that are doing this right now with some of the more popular stuff, and they went out there and sure, did they take a little bit of a risk? You bet they did. They spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars buying these products preemptively. But if they're anything like this Nintendo system that's going out like crazy, they're making a 200% profit, 300% profit sometimes on their purchase, which is pretty amazing if you think about it, right? What kind of stuff offers you a 300% profit margin? Not many things, especially at these price points. How many of my clients are retail drop shipping some of this stuff? Well, there are a few. But you have to be so careful about it. Retail drop shipping is very hard with trendy, popular holiday items. I don't think it's worth the risk, really, to be honest, which is why many of you haven't heard me say, let's go find the trendy, popular stuff right now. Because my fear is you're going to find a supplier, you're going to list the product, you're going to start making sales, and they're going to be out of stock. And you just can't afford to go out of stock too much on your eBay account. I remember years ago, this wasn't during Christmas, but this was during back to school. And I had a client that found this very trendy type of backpack and various variations of this backpack, and had a supplier, and they were listing them like crazy, and they were selling like crazy. And initially, everything was great. They were making money on it until all of a sudden their supplier went out of stock. And they went out of stock on these very quickly, and pretty soon my client had made 20 or 25 sales after the fact. Their supplier went out of stock. They couldn't find the products from anywhere else, and they were essentially refunding and canceling orders like crazy, which was the first step that led to the later demise of their eBay account, because they couldn't get back into the good graces of eBay, all because they were retail drop shipping trendy stuff. So your takeaway from this tonight is, if you want to use the trendy lists that I'm sharing with you right now, please do, but don't do it from a retail drop shipping standpoint. If you've got a few $100s laying around, or even a few $1,000s laying around, and you want to really maximize your return on that, you could turn a couple grand into 6 or 7 grand if you do this right. Look at these lists, gobble up the products from local retailers. And I know some of you guys have local Walmarts and Targets and Toys R Us's, and gobble up all the products you can and turn around and resell them, and you'll make some pretty good money. But this isn't for the faint of heart. You have to be willing to take a little bit of risk when you do this. And you might dabble in it this year. So if this is your first year doing this type of thing, if you have some interest, I know some of you guys are like, no, this isn't for me. It's too risky. I'd rather just, go with a safer strategy, sell some of the non-sexy items that aren't going off the shelves like crazy, and still make pretty good money doing drop shipping. Great. I think that's fine. And that's a strategy that works. But if you're one of these types of people that would really like to try this and take a little bit more risk, maybe just dabble in it this year. Don't go crazy. Don't spend $2 grand your first time doing this unless you've got a for sure seller that you've tested. Spend a few $100. Try it out, get the feel for it, use these lists, check your local retailers, and start gobbling products up and resell them. You'll make money that way. Now, the only disadvantage is if you're not very familiar with shipping, you're going to have to learn how to do some shipping on your own. Now, that doesn't mean you've got to wait in long holiday post office lines, which a lot of you guys can probably vouch for. This time of year, here over the next couple of weeks, as the holiday sales ramp up, the post office is probably one of the last places you want to be, right? Luckily, on eBay, you can print your own shipping labels, and so we can teach you that, and we can go into that. But that's something you've got to be willing to learn as well. Okay. So the other thing is, if you want to find additional holiday bestseller lists, I don't have any special way of finding them. I do it the old-fashioned way. I go to Google and I type in 2016 Christmas best sellers, and or you vary this a little bit. It doesn't have to be Christmas bestsellers. It can be holiday gifts or holiday gift guide. Okay, and then you can get in here. Here's a list right here. Lots of publications out there produce these lists because they're very popular. So, I mean, you can get one at CNET here, InStyle.com, Engadget.com has one. Consumer Reports has one. This is usually a pretty good one. Let me open this one up really quick. Okay, so this is from consumerreports.org. It says this stellar constellation of gift suggestions you'll find in Consumer Reports 2016 Holiday Gift Guide represents our top-rated products from among the thousands we buy and test all year long, so we can tell you which excel in performance, safety, efficiency, and value. Our holiday gift guide will help you find deals on consumer electronics, so on and so forth. Check the 2016 holiday gift guide often for updates and deals. Okay, so then you can come down here and you can look with different categories and stuff. So it's what there's 1,000 different holiday reports, and so I don't think I have any one that I'm like, hey, this is the report you really need to look at. I'll hop on and I'll look at some of the newer stuff, and so sometimes I'll even use Google News, which is how I found the time.com report. So if you go to Google News here, you just have to click on the little news link and you type in 2016, Christmas, or let's say popular Christmas gifts. You're going to see, this is the Time article right here. Shopping for the holidays, these are the 14 hottest toys for 2016. This is CNBC. That was published on November 11th. This one right here is from The Guardian. This is from the Huffington Post. This one is interesting. This is from New York Magazine. This is a trend forecaster on holiday gifts to buy before they sell out. I remember looking at this one earlier. These are crazy right now. There's a bunch of products here that are pretty crazy that you'll see. Hatchimals right here are crazy right now. Anyway, so this stuff, like, you do your research. You'll find all sorts of good stuff. Howard, to your question, can you show the Time and 80s best sites again? The 81 is bestproducts.com right here. 80 must-have Christmas gifts of 2016 for everyone on your list from bestproducts.com. And the Time article is right here again. Here's the title, the 45 best tech gifts for every budget. But just do what I use, Google News, and then just google.com. Google those lists. And really, I mean, this is probably kind of late. I mean, I know we're not even at Thanksgiving yet, but I probably should have had you guys start doing a little bit of research for this, October, even into September, because they start publishing a lot of those lists by then. So if you're serious about it, that's a good time to do it. Although I always forget because we get talking about other things. But anyway, for you guys that are really interested in this strategy, it'll certainly be a good one. So, okay, well, be smart. If you want to run any purchases by your coach first, go ahead and do it. I wish you guys the very best as you're looking to take advantage of the holidays, and we will do some more eBay training next week. Thanks for coming along, everybody.